Literal equations. Letters everywhere. At this point, we should feel very competent in solving linear equations. In many situations, we might even solve equations when there are no actual numbers given. Let's take a look at what we mean in exercise number 1. Exercise number 1, solve each of the following problems for the value of x. And B, write your answer in terms of unspecified constants A, B, and C. I will make sure to show you what that answer looks like in a moment. So let's just review how to solve this linear equation. What's happening to x, and that's one of the things that I want you to really hammer home today, is using that skill that we taught you a few lessons ago. What's happening to x is multiplying by 5 and adding 3. So if we want to do that in reverse order, we're going to subtract 3 and then divide by 5. X is going to give me 6. So we're going to do the same thing when we're dealing with letters. We're going to say, okay, what's occurring to the x? I want to get x by itself. Well, I'm multiplying by A and adding B. So let's do that in reverse order. I'm going to subtract by B. So I'm going to have AX equals C minus B. Now, I really like solving literal equations because we don't need a calculator. All we need to do is write down what we are doing, and that's it. So now we're going to divide by A. A's will cancel, and my answer is going to give me C minus B divided by A. And that is your final answer. Now we're going to get a little bit more complicated. Same thing. Let's talk about what's happening to x. It's adding by 5, divided by 2, and subtracted 7. So let's do that in reverse order. I'm going to add 7. Be left with x plus 5 over 2 equals 10. Now it's divided by 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Cancels. X plus 5 equals 20. And then subtract 5. X equals 15. Same process over to the right. What's going on to x? I'm adding by A, divided by B, subtracting C. So let's do it in reverse order. I'm going to say plus C. So I have x plus A over B equals D plus C. Can't do it, so just write it down. Then we're going to multiply by B, x plus A equals B times D plus C. And then I'm just going to subtract A on both sides. So I'm going to be left with x equals B times D plus C minus A. The next problem, exercise number 3, the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and distribute that 2 so that we can get rid of the parentheses. So we're going to have 2x minus 2h plus k equals 8. We're still solving for x. Let's get x by itself. So let's move the negative 2h and the positive k. And I'm going to show you how to do that now because we're getting good. We can do that all in one move. So we're going to say plus 2h minus k. If you do that on the left side, you have to do it to the right side. This will cancel. I'll be left with 2x equals 8 plus 2h minus k. Remember, you cannot add that 8 and the 2 together because they're not like terms. The last thing I'm going to do is divide by 2. X is going to give me, now I can do 8 divided by 2, which gives me 4. 2 divided by 2, which gives me 1h, minus k over 2. There's nothing to do, so just leave it k over 2. And if you reorganize things, it's going to show you that it is choice 2. Please now try exercise number 4, all on your own on page 14. I will be looking at exercise 4 as part of your homework. Exercise number 5 is a difficult process when it gets to the literal equations part. I'll show you how to work your way through that in a moment. Let's look at solving this equation. 8x plus 1 equals 5x plus 22. I'm going to move the 5x so it's on both sides. So 8 minus 5x is going to give me 3x. Plus 1 equals 22. Minus 1 on both sides. 3x equals 21. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. X equals 7. Now that didn't seem too difficult. I'm going to point out real quick where the difficult part is on the next step. Combining these like terms is what is a little bit difficult when we get to the literal equations, and I'll show you how to work your way through that. So I'm going to say I'm going to subtract cx on both sides. And I'm going to show you a new unique way of writing that. I want you to notice that we have x's in common. So what I can do is this. I can bring that x out front, and really I'm just doing a minus c plus b equals d. Everybody notice what I did there is I pulled that x out because I have they're common. So I took this x because they were common and I brought it out front. And really all I did was a minus c. The next step that I'm going to do is minus b on both sides. So I have x times a minus c equals d minus b. I still want to get x by itself. So right here it's saying x times a minus c. So if I want to undo times, I would do division. So I'm going to divide by a minus c on both sides. I'll be left with x equals d minus b over a minus c. The hardest part of this exercise 5 is this step right in here, understanding what to do with the ax minus cx. So let's take another look at that real quick. I noticed, or another way I could have wrote that was by just saying ax minus cx. And you've seen this before when we were talking about properties and identifying the properties. And then they would say, all right, let's pull the x out and subtract a and c is left over. A minus c is left over. And why can we pull these out? Because these guys are common. The x's are common here, so I can pull that out. You've seen something that looks like this on notes and worksheets prior to this, so it's not totally new. I just wanted to show you, going from this step, what you guys can do to write that a little simpler for yourselves. Now I'd like you to try exercise number 6 on your own. It is a tough one, but see how far you can get. You're going to have to do the same thing that I just showed you in exercise number 5b. So use the same concepts that I just showed you. Have a great evening.